YouTube? Today we're going to be going over the Golden Vendor reviews for this week's Golden Vendor. We actually have two really interesting Golden Vendors. The first one we're going to be starting with is the Luxury Vendor, which for those of you who are new, is inside the Hollow City, inside of Cold Harbor. And this guy has got some really, really good items. Why? Well, because they're statues. And they're statues that are all affordable, too. All of these statues are going to be worth more, and probably even to the statue base down the road. So these are all really, especially this item right here, these are all going to be really good items for you guys to pick up and then potentially either just put in your house or sell at a later date. These are all going to be great for resale. Now let's go to the controversial Golden Vendor for this week. I want to see if we can queue into Quagmire. Oh, an instant queue into Quagmire at 5 o'clock in the morning. Let's go. Sorry for the making this early in the morning. I had taken too many DayQuils, and I think it turned into a NyQuil. So if you see there's a little bit of suspicious activity down there, I wonder what's going on down there. Perhaps a train of some sorts? I'm just kidding. That is what's going on. For those of you who don't know, that's why Quagmire is so coveted, because there is basically a three-way, you go from this lumber to that mine to the farm to inside the keep, take the keep, flip the keep, back down to the lumber, and then around again. It basically is just an AP train, essentially, which is why I was surprised it was an instant queue. But hey, we'll do our Golden Vendor review inside of here. Before we talk about the controversial Golden Vendor, a quick reminder that these are the giveaway winners. I will never ask you for Telegram. If you see a fake version of me or a person that looks kind of like me but not like me, you can always reach out to me on Xbox, JakeClip, or on Discord at JakeClip with a capital J 2408. You always message me. I will always respond to you. You guys have likely also, depending on where you found my videos, you may have my band as well. You can reach out to me on band, Facebook Messenger, wherever you Reddit. Wherever you see me, you can reach out to me. That's the real version of me. Ain't no version of me have Telegram. So set that to the side. Now let's talk about the Golden Vendor. So the Golden Vendor this week is doing rings. And for those of you who were there last week, you know that I was kind of smack talking the Golden Vendor. And that is because on Xbox, people are selling these items for 65k gold, which means that you're getting a return of about 13% of your gold from your AP, which to me is just not very good. Well, because we could put that in perspective. That's the equivalent to you buying a 12k pot. Let's say you bought an Elfbane one and you got a ring. Are you going to sell that ring for 2k gold? No, you're going to be able to get closer to 6 to 8k gold with it, which means that your return is going to be significantly higher. Now, if your goal is to sell these later down the road, rings are definitely better than necklaces, because people definitely will need significantly more rings, obviously, because you need 2 rings, than necklaces. So if your goal down the road is to do that, then I would say you can pick up a whole bunch of these rings and sell them later. But just warning you, at most, because I had actually bought, where is it, Ring of Ancient Grace, I had actually bought a gold one of these a little bit ago for about, I think it was about 90 to 105k, maybe, somewhere in the region there. That's still not making a whole lot of return. But if your goal is to not fill up your inventory, because let's talk about doing this, right? You buy a bunch of gold rings, you slow sell them for a rate that you think is fair. I would say you would want to make at least 100k on console. And if you're on PC, you want at least 1 million gold. A bunch of gold rings, your goal is going to be to slow sell those rings for value that you want. You probably have tons of AP like most people. So you may just want to get that 65k gold if you're on console, because hey, you really want that gold. And you can sell them pretty easily in zone chat, so you'll be able to actually get your gold pretty quickly. So if you need gold in the immediate short term, I would say this is a great way you could do it. Let's talk about the alternative. The alternative is to use your AP to buy other things that people might be buying. I have a whole AP video that goes over all the different things for AP that you could buy: Deadly, Elfbane, Elysian, Juggernaut, Buffer of the Swift, Triune Crystals, AP Pots. Like, there's a lot of things that you're... Vicious Death, Leeching, Ancient Grace, like Potentates. So many different things that you could be buying that the alternative would be you would just buy 500k worth of those items and then throwing those in a trader. I will say, though, because I've actually still been selling Deadly pretty consistently. I actually sold even some overnight tonight. So, for example, I pulled an Ice Staff, sold the Ice Staff for 10k, and then I sold boots, legs, and I think like a mace. All of those were well over the ratio of 0.13. In fact, the cheapest one was 8k. The most expensive one, was only 15k, but that's just because of the market right now. Just food for thought. But again, too, I'm also in for more and hold traders. You might not want to have, like, if I was to convert 8 million AP right now into inventory, I wouldn't even be able to store it. But I would be able to store it if I was getting these rings. So I'm just trying to have like a conversation about this, because I don't want you guys to think that I hate people who buy golden rings, because somebody on one of my last videos made it seem like that, and I don't want it to seem like that. Like, I do understand why people buy them. However, I just want you to recognize, like, that both methods have pros and cons, like anything. Like, buying a bunch of golden rings, like, you're definitely not utilizing your AP to get the max amount of gold, but you are saving on inventory space. It's obviously easier to sell, like, singular items. But then if you were to buy a whole bunch of items, you would be able to have a whole bunch of things that you could list, but then you have to pay a whole bunch of listing fees, but then you're pretty much guaranteed to make significantly more money, especially if you could get whole items from those AP pots that are worth more than these items here. I pulled a Deadly Dagger. I have it listed for 300k. 300k is literally the equivalent of like 6 of these right now, so that's where I want you guys to kind of be thinking about. And it's also difficult too for PC inflation, because PC inflation like throws everything out of whack. So I tried to do this math for PC inflation, but it's very difficult. But just know that it's about the same concept. Like, you can still sell these gold rings for a lot of gold on PC. However, you're still going to have to work around the fact that, like, you can still sell sets too, also for a big amount of gold, but your prices are also just absolutely cattywampus right now, so keep that in mind. And that is going to kind of wrap up my thoughts on the Golden Vendor. I apologize again for making this at 5 a.m., but this is a great showcase, of the train going on down here. You can see that this is flipped back. Yellows are probably about to take, blues are probably about to take the mine and then the farm. Yellows are probably about to go take the lumber mill. It's a really good time to go get AP if you play on console. I've heard that some other consoles don't do this. I've heard that PlayStation was trying to do it. PC really doesn't do it anymore, which is weird because I believe that they were the ones to start the train. Like, it's not a console exclusive thing, so I was a bit surprised by that, but, hey, it's really good for you guys to do if you want some AP. And if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, suggestions for future content, question of the day is how much AP have you gotten so far during this event? And I'm actually very excited too for the next event, the Undaunted Event, because it is the opposite of Midyear Mayhem. It's like, now that you guys have all killed each other, go do dungeons together. So that's a really good, and that's also a huge money maker if you love running dungeons. That can get you tons of gold, potentially even more gold here. A little bit more difficult as to how you get that gold, but there's some items there that are worth millions. So that's a really exciting event to participate in. I'll have all the information for you guys in a video coming up soon for that. But other than that, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jake Clips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.